Good evening, everybody. John Barlow with JJ Medicinals again. So I wanted to talk with you on another topic about lies on big pharma, lies on certain topics of medical medications that are necessary when they're actually not. So, one of the biggest lies that big pharma has put out there, well, two, but the biggest one being is mental health medications, as my counselor Carol Williams has instructed me after, and I trust her because she's got 31 years of counseling and therapy experience before her retirement a year and a half ago from Denver Behavioral Health Counseling. And she said that I was right, but as far as the aspect goes, 89 to 90% of all mental health illnesses is caused from mineral deficiencies and vitamin deficiencies. The reason being due to lack of vitamins and nutrients within our food supply due to mass production necessary needs, and the fact for additives and cutting agents depleting these benefits of absorption and vitamins and minerals. That being said, it's become a huge market to put pharmaceutical medications, especially SSRIs, out there to help people with mood disorders and depression, even though the majority of depression, anxiety, and mood disorders is caused by mineral and vitamin deficiencies and not by chemical imbalance in the brain. The other 10% of mental health deficiencies is caused by genetic predisposition of chemical imbalance or chemical imbalance from chemical-induced damage caused by pharmaceuticals, drugs, and other chemicals. So, that being said, it's just a marketing gimmick because, as it turns out, SSRIs and certain mental health medications are linked to stomach cancer, brain cancer, as well as causes to dementia and Alzheimer's. Excuse me. I was on Prozac for years, and my counselor even agreed with me that I shouldn't have been on it as long, other than certain medications, such as heart medications, people with blood pressure and severe autoimmune diseases such as Graves' disease. They need medications because it's required to keep them stable, to keep them alive, and because of the severe situations that are caused by these diseases and issues. But for people that are taking like antidepressants, she said, I got concerned that I found out that the FDA said that you're not supposed to be prescribed and taking Prozac longer than 2 years without neurological damage and calcificational and other damage to the pineal gland and hemoglobin area of the center of your brain that controls your body temperature and everything else, which is why my body would be out of whack, why I would have mood swings and other issues. That most of these medications I was wrongfully prescribed, Miss Williams told me, and that I was wrongfully prescribed and wrongfully diagnosed these conditions, which some of these prescriptions could have mimicked the conditions that I was prescribed, making it to where they believed I was actually had these mental health illnesses when it wasn't. It was the prescriptions they gave me because it was pre-assumption. But as my other doctor told me, and as my mentor my mentor told me and my doctor back in Delaware agreed, Mr. Fasky or something, he's a Middle Eastern man, said that mainly a lot of the issues that are underlining could definitely be caused to the mineral deficiencies, but more so than not, a doctor cannot get any payment with just a visit. They have to give you some form of prescription in order for them to get a bigger payoff for the load they're doing. For initial visits, the doctor told me he only gets about $50 to $100 at a copay from the insurance companies. But when he gives a prescription, he could get several hundreds to several $1,000s just for that. And that for writing referrals for surgeries, he gets just as big a write-off to his payment, or his income, I mean, for his salary, as he would for prescribing chemotherapy or other major medications for like hepatitis. So it's all about that they do it as a guessing game, yes, but they do it based off of the symptoms they discern. And as my mentor taught me, a doctor is only as good as his diagnosis, not as his prognosis, that you shouldn't listen to what they have to offer to reverse this, that all the natural healing and all the proof of recovery is there in outside medicine from modern medicine, which is the weakest, most shortest lived medicine studies in the entire world, with less evidence and backing than any other medicine treatments in the world. The only thing that the natural modern medicine of the United States has to benefit is emergency care and not prognosis care and long-term care and maintenance. And diagnosis is probably second to what we have to offer best outside of emergency care. And even then, 10% of the time a doctor wrongfully diagnosed a physical condition, and 18% of the time there's a wrongful diagnosis of mental health conditions. So you need to understand that you need to discern that for yourself and do the research, and stop letting people tell you what your body is when you should know your body, instead of going to people expecting an answer. If it's not for blood work or x-rays to find an answer and then work on it yourself, there's no benefit to seeing a doctor in that area. The second biggest lie that Big Pharma has to say is cholesterol medication. It is proven by the CDC and different organizations. If you look it up on Google, more people have died from low cholesterol than from high cholesterol. And the reason being is low cholesterol actually damages several parts of the body. High cholesterol doesn't cause damage and is actually easily reversible depending on how fast you fix your diet and other things you can supplement, even minerals, not just herbs. And I can help with information on that in due time when I get to that as videos on working on that area. That being said, the biggest thing why they prescribed cholesterol medications is it is a huge beneficial finance market to the second biggest industry, which is the Alzheimer's and Dementia Foundation. The biggest one being the Cancer Society getting the most money, and the third one being the Autism Society. And with autism and dementia being second biggest to that for them to get their money back, they force autism and dementia on people by giving them cholesterol medication and not telling them that it's actually to make them sicker mentally than to help something that doesn't need help. It was a big gimmick, because our brains are 80% cholesterol. No, our brains are 40% cholesterol and 50% cartilage. And the rest is mainly different tissues. With that being said, cholesterol is 40% of your brain, so dementia and Alzheimer's happens because cholesterol medications stop the production and the proper care of it and causes your brain to deteriorate. Can also lead to 10% of people getting brain cancer outside of the 85% getting dementia and Alzheimer's due to cholesterol medication. That being said, it can also lead to nervous disorders, as it does affect collagen production for the body to help with your nervous system care, as collagen does help with nervous system care and nerve pain care. And I did a similar study and found out that you can rebuild degenerative discs by doing a combination of different things, which I would like to get to in another video because it's a lot to press on. But outside of that, those are the two biggest concerns that have to be aware, that you don't need cholesterol medications or antidepressants, because herbs have shown a higher turnaround with less side effects and less damage to the body and long-term outcome. So I thought I'd share that just to help, share some wisdom and give people a better opportunity to start doing for themselves and finding the resource. Or you can always come to us, for my care team or me, for any resource or questions you may have. We don't charge for open information and support. We're just here to help support everyone we can and help make their lives better. With that being said, have a beautiful evening and happy healing.